Good afternoon to my LinkedIn professionals and followers. This is my second webinar in my series of webinars that I am going to be offering throughout the year. So let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to be talking about today succession planning strategies, insights for supply chain professionals. So if you're a supply chain project manager, mid-level manager, entry-level manager, senior level manager, this webinar is going to help you when you look at succession planning and strategies. Because as your needs grow and you are wanting to transition into other roles, you need to have a plan in place for someone within your team or even potentially someone from the outside taking your place so that you can move up and move on. So every organization, every business should have some type of succession plan strategy in place. So the executive summary and some key insights are adaptable strategies are crucial for effective succession planning, which I just mentioned. Being able to embrace the latest trends and challenges in the supply chain industry, and what we can do to develop a robust pipeline for leadership through continuous workforce development. And those can be such things as a university. In my prior role, there was AGU, Applied Global University. Amazon has the Academy. So they use tools such as that to help them identify people within the work structure who can be built and ready for more responsibilities. And also, the use of succession planning and strategic planning encourages mentorship and training to ensure sustainability in leadership roles. And also, that's another purpose for having some type of academy or university style structure within your work environment. So, what's the importance of succession planning? As I mentioned, having an effective succession plan is crucial for adapting to evolving trends. And when we look at 21st century business, example AI, how artificial intelligence is going to be factoring into the business model of the future. And so we want to make sure that we're ensuring that leadership pipelines are robust and prepared for future demands, such as AI, how that's going to change the business model. As far as our human capital is concerned, who are we going to need to make sure that we move the business forward and allow the business to continue to be profitable? So, supply chain leadership considerations. When we look at succession planning, organizations must stay attuned to emerging trends and challenges, technical advancements, and shifting market demands. As I mentioned, AI is the perfect example of technology advancements and how that's going to shift market demands, especially for older leadership, right? Those who are coming out of college or in college now, who are going to be in the workforce in the next 2 to 3 years, are going to have that AI skill set. And you're going to want to look at how that feeds into your succession and strategic planning moving forward. And that leads into the focus on workforce development, that you want to make sure you prioritize continuous learning and adaptability, looking at your academy programs and your university programs to see what fits now, if those programs are still going to fit in the short term, which is 2 to 3 years, and then long term, 5 years plus. What technologies and markets are we going to have to utilize now in order to have a good, strong succession and strategic plan within our organization that's going to keep us marketable, viable, keep us profitable, and keep us productive in the coming years? So There's adaptation and then there's development. Adaptation is the strategy for modern supply chains. Adapting is crucial for navigating current trends using your predictive analytic tools, your futuring tools, whatever the case may be that your organization uses. You should be working with your learning and development teams and your training teams on adaptation, along with HR when you're looking at strategic and succession planning. You want to make sure your approaches are flexible to meet the evolving demand for those coming out of college, your new college grads, those that are potentially 2 to 5 years within their leadership journey, your mid-level managers, which are 10 to 20 years and senior level, and even some of those that might even be transitioning out. What tools can you provide for them as they leave their legacy? So we want to make sure the approaches are flexible, that we're leveraging technology. Once again, AI is the big topic, and that's going to be a big trend moving forward. Data analytics, such as, SAP and folks using Oracle and tools like that, and collaboration. So working with your learning partners, your training partners, your HR partners, your industrial engineering partners. Is that going to fit in with adaptation when we look at strategic planning and succession planning for the future? And you also want to keep in mind effective leadership transition as you have an entry level manager that's ready for more responsibility and to move into a mid-level role. Adaptation is going to be crucial to help those leaders get to the next step. And that's where development comes in, building strong leadership pipelines. You want to make sure you're preparing future leaders to face challenges such as training, because training evolves as the business evolves and as the needs of the business change based on your vendors, your partnerships, your shareholders and stakeholders. Training is going to have to always be an evolving process. And me working in training and learning and development, I know that firsthand. And that ties in with mentorship and continuous learning. Everyone has a continuous learning or continuous improvement process. And within the continuous improvement process, succession planning and strategic planning should be a part of that, because when you do that, that's going to create a resilient workforce. You're now going to have a pipeline of a workforce where your employees are not just at the most basic level or novice level. You've now got a pipeline of people who are proficient and higher, right? They're proficient, advanced, and now they're your subject matter experts. And that's how you create a resilient workforce. It also drives innovation when you have those folks who are looking at their development, where you can now take that workforce, whether it's the leadership level or your frontline level, and you've developed your training, your mentorship, and your continuous learning that drives innovation, that allows people to come in with new ideas and new opportunities that will drive the business forward. And in doing so, it maintains competitive advantage, not only within the structure of the business, but people bringing in fresh ideas can also amplify the competitive advantage for the business outside of the model. When you're looking at vendors, or you've got a contract coming up, or you see an opening within the market that your organization can fit in and get that business, those tools between adaptation and development is going to help that organization with that process. So that moves us into effective succession planning pipelines, the best practices for success. So when we think about that and we look at that, creating robust succession planning pipelines is essential in today's fast-paced environment. Everybody wants everything now. How do I ramp up my talent now? How do I develop my human capital now? Those are some of the key issues and concerns that are on senior leadership and executive leadership mindset. So companies have to focus on identifying key leadership roles to ensure future readiness. You look at your learning and development, your training, your HR partnership, also working with your information technology teams and your industrial teams on how you can collaborate together on creating that robust succession planning so that you can look for not only talent within the operation, and it's my mantra that 80% of development should come from within, and then 20% you hire from the outside to bring in fresh ideas and new talent that you can collaborate and mesh those things together, henceforth allowing the organization to create a robust succession planning pipeline. Organizations should always continue workforce development initiatives to nurture emerging talents. Henceforth, like I mentioned, your organization having some type of an academy or a university, you work with LinkedIn Learning. There are a lot of great LinkedIn Learning certification programs that can help you within your academy and university structure that's going to help you nurture your emerging talent. And then plus one-on-ones and using the 9-box methodology. That will help you as well when you're looking at your emerging talent and who can fit where. Especially, I've used the 9-box model, and for me, it was a very effective tool to helping me identify those who could be potential subject matter experts, those who could advance within the organization, whether they were with my team or another team, and then working with my direct reports to help them align and come up with a good, smart goal related plan that would help them with their strategic and succession planning within the organization. So there are a lot of great tools out there that you can align to help evolve supply chain demands and the skill sets. And plus, regular assessments of succession planning are crucial. One of the things that I helped develop in my last role in the logistics certification program was looking at those assessments, task lists based on what they're doing now, how certain roles may change in the future, and reassessing those task lists and assessments so that you can always keep your workplace, your human capital at the proficient and higher levels. And as people come in through onboarding, you've already established that. So when they're coming in from onboarding and they're in the novice and intermediate phase of their learning and of their succession plan, you've got assessments in place that are going to help you with that. It's going to help you look at the industry trends, not only within the work environment, but the trends outside of the work environment that your organization may be looking at implementing in the future. So having your workforce development in place, your robust succession plan pipeline will help with the impact of leadership development. And it's just going to make for a great tool throughout. My favorite slide is this one when I was looking and putting this together. Let's look at the statistics, the insights for supply chain success. We want to understand the impact of an effective succession plan on workforce development trends. So if you look, 60% of companies with a succession plan, 60% of companies with a formal succession plan report stronger leadership pipelines, according to the recent survey by the Association for Talent Development. So that is a good trend. And I think over time, as the Association of Talent Development develops tools and utilizes companies that are using the 9-box model or the Hogan model, whatever model an organization is using to help with this succession and strategic planning, you're going to see this steadily go up through the years. And when we look at SHRM, 90% of organizations believe that investing in workforce development significantly enhances their overall performance, which is a good thing because when your organization, your internal customer base, and that could be your floor direct reports all the way up to your senior directors, 90% feel that developing their people from within is a good, effective tool for them. It leads to long-term growth. It leads to worker satisfaction. It leads to workers feeling empowered, and it leads to workers doing an overall better job when they know that organizations are invested in their career opportunities within the organization. So, succession plan approaches, strategies for impactful pipelines and development. So we're going to look at key insights for adapting your succession planning strategies effectively. So you want to make sure you understand the essential principles for creating impactful succession pipelines. And some of the ways that you can do that, as I mentioned, with the 9-box model or the Hogan model, it's going to help you assess talent regularly and identify high potential individuals. Also through having your task list, your assessments. If you've got some type of a certification program that you've built, that's going to help you with that short term and long term. It's also going to promote diversity to enhance team perspective and innovation. We always want to make sure we have a good cross-functional group of people within our teams. When we have a good, diverse team, it brings in new ideologies, new ideas, and new ways of doing things that are going to not only help the team, but also help move the organization as a whole forward. And you want to use data-driven insights, your KPI data, your futuring tools, your predictive analytic tools. Those are going to help you in making informed decisions when it comes to succession and strategic planning. And it also is going to allow you to engage the stakeholders and the planning process for buy-in. So your stakeholders are your cross-functional teams, your direct reports, anyone that you're bringing in on a project. When they see that you have a good structured plan and you've used SMART goals, and I also like to integrate SWOT, which is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, using a combination of your SMART goals and your SWOT goals to help engage your stakeholders. It's going to allow you to, once again, assess your talent, promote diversity, and once again, use that data-driven insights and ideologies to help you with that. So that leads into explore effective strategies for workforce development within supply chains. And this is going to work for logistics. This can work for retail management. This can work for transportation management, warehouse distribution management. It doesn't matter. Succession planning and strategic planning can all work in these business models. So you want to make sure you're leveraging technology for streamlined succession planning. Everybody's using Copilot, artificial intelligence, your task list, your assessments, your learning plan. All of those are technologies that can be used to streamline succession planning. It's also going to allow you to foster a culture of continuous learning and improvement, because we should always be looking for ways to improve our processes and our procedures. And as we look forward to 21st century business and how we can build upon that as leaders. So that's a good thing. It's also going to implement mentorship programs to nurture future leaders, and a lot of ERGs, which is employee relation groups. They can also use succession tools and strategic tool planning to help within their own mentorship programs to nurture future leaders. I had the joy of working with an ERG program as a co-chair of career development for young leaders within the organization. And this is a perfect way of working within the organization to come up with good succession and strategic planning. And using some of the tools that I've mentioned, is going to help you align succession planning with your business goals and objectives. So that comes to the end of my second webinar series. I am going to have this on my YouTube channel. If you want to reach out to me, get in touch with me at HeidiWilkinson70@yahoo.com. My social media has my LinkedIn profile listed right there. And if you should want to leave me a phone message, my cell phone is 816-945-0288. And I'm going to stop sharing. And thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Have a great evening. Bye bye.